Sweden, but lived in a few different places around the world. I make video games. I guess run a company, but the company is just me, and it's called Dead Toast Entertainment. And currently, I'm making a game called My Friend Pedro: Blood Bullets Bananas.
So tell me about your personal gaming history then. What got you into gaming?
My personal gaming history, I guess, is as a player, I started with like Sega Master System. I think I might have been 3 or 4 years old or something like that. I think the first game was like I think it came built in with Alex Kidd, and then I don't know. I guess it's hooked since then really, and then what I kept playing was the Master System until and other stuff. But then I think it was maybe around 7 or 8 years old when we first got our first like PC at home, and on that PC it came with a program called like Click and Create. Click and Play. Sorry, Click and Play, which was like my introduction to like being able to make games. So since then I guess I've just been at it.
Do you have a favorite game when you were growing up?
When I was growing up, I think ever since I first played Tetris, that's been my favorite game.
Tetris.
I know, yeah. Well, it's kind of I got it. I know it was one of these. It was like 1,000 games in one, but it's just like a very like it's just one game with 1,000 different names kind of thing. And it came with Tetris. It was just like a portable thing. I think that like ever since I played that, I just really love Tetris. And the more I think about it now, like later as a game designer, I just think like Tetris is the kind of purest, best game.
Well, speaking of game design, when did you start decide? I know you said you had that program in your early days that started getting you interested in game design and game development. When did you like start working for your very first game development company?
The first money I made of making games was just on my own, like just making Flash games. You can get this like sponsor deals sort of thing. I think I was around maybe 15, 16 at the time. But then first time I got hired by a company was I got hired by Media Molecule to make Little Big Planet when I was 19.
Wow.
It was my lucky break there. I've only really like ever had. Like I was at Media Molecule for about 6 years until I kind of went indie again, I guess.
What was your role at Media Molecule?
I was a level designer mainly. I guess it was kind of like because when we were designing Little Big Planet, it was like you had to kind of make the tools to make the game at the same time. So it's kind of like, but we were all kind of helping on a few different bits, but it was mainly like all about level design for me, really.
Any levels you were extremely proud of that maybe people might find on Little Big Planet?
Well, I was quite happy to make. I made the. I guess we all touched on all the levels, but like we all had like made the foundation for most levels. But I did like the final boss of Little Big Planet 1. That was me. Most of the kind of Indian-inspired levels. I think I was quite happy with those. I can't actually remember much. Actually, a lot of the kind of the mini games in Little Big Planet 1. That was kind of like my push, and I'm happy that I kind of made it in there. So yeah, something like that.
When did you end up deciding to leave Media Molecule to go independent again?
Why or when?
I guess both would be good.
When was that? I think it was in 2013. So at this point, I think I'd been there around 6 years, working on Little Big Planet 1, Little Big Planet 2, and Tearaway for the Vita. I mean, there's a few different reasons why I kind of wanted to pursue the indie dreams. Partly it was just because it was like, it really felt like it was possible. Like, it was, you kept seeing people just making their games and things, and partly because I met my lovely girlfriend in England, and she's from Brazil, and then there was visa stuff that made it so she couldn't really be there anymore in England. So then I just thought like, hey, it would be a cool adventure to follow her to Brazil for a while. She's from Brazil, and then so I did that. So
I'm gonna assume that your time in Brazil heavily inspired my friend Pedro. Now that I think about it,
parts of it, yes, it was. Yeah, actually, the game My Friend Pedro it has quite a long history. The game actually started like a long time ago. Like, it was the Flash game. It was so My Friend Pedro started as a Flash game that I started developing just before I joined Media Molecule, so that was like over 10 years ago. And then I never finished it because I joined Media Molecule and was busy there and stuff. And it wasn't until I left Media Molecule where I thought like, I have to finish this game and just release it, sort of thing. This whole time when the game was on ice, the game was called the Blacklist. And it was kind of like meant to be like kind of serious and cool. But then I guess throughout the time that I just had it on ice, I was kind of like, it was not really me anymore, trying to make something too serious and too cool kind of thing. And then Blacklist had been used like during this time. There was like the TV series and I think like Splinter Cell.
Splinter Cell.
Yeah, exactly. So then I was like, well, can't really keep that name. And then I was in Brazil and I just needed a name. And there's a lot of people called Pedro. And I think my girlfriend said something like, when I was thinking about a name, I think she said something like, My Friend Pedro, blah, blah, blah. And then I was like, oh, that'd be a funny name for a game, wouldn't it? And then through that, I kind of like, started thinking about like the helping hand that ended up being a banana. So yes, Brazil had its influences.
So I guess you explained how My Friend Pedro became part of the name, but how did Blood Bowls and Bananas come about?
Yeah, so so the original Flash game was called My Friend Pedro, and then basically because the original Flash game it's available on it's widely spread across the internet. So at first I was thinking, if you just search for My Friend Pedro trying to find a new game, you're going to find the old game, sort of thing. So then I wanted to add like a subtitle to it. So then Blood Bullets Bananas is like, bananas, so the main sort of character that tells you what to do is a banana, and his name is Pedro. And hence the name.
I was actually really hoping the banana would just be a weapon, but
that
character telling you what to do, and his name was Banana. Or his name is Pedro.
Yeah,
it's Banana. That works better.
Exactly. So Pedro is your maybe imaginary friend, maybe not, and he's telling you to do things like shoot people in the face.
Oh, well, good. That's always a good thing to be told.
Yes.
So I guess shooting people in the face, is that the basic premise of the game?
Well, actually, like the thing that made me excited in the first place with this is more about the acrobatics, really, and just like crazy stunts and like I guess a hook in my mind has always been I wanted to make something that like when you do cool things in the game, I wanted to feel like you did that, not like you pressed the button to trigger the cool looking animation sort of thing. So it's like the basic kind of I guess controls or the gameplay ingredients. It's there's a few fairly simple things, but then I wanted to be able to like combine them and use them in like badass ways.
I was gonna say the game heavily reminds me of an old favorite of mine. I don't know, maybe you've played it, John Woo's Stranglehold.
I tried a demo of it. Yeah, it's basically that sort of like ridiculous, like over the top kind of thing. Actually, I've been watching quite a few of like those like Bollywood action movie clips on YouTube and things like that. And it's a little bit of that sort of extreme, like just you don't need to, like, it doesn't need to be realistic. You just like, it's just it looks cool, so let's do it, sort of thing.
Yeah, I've been keeping an eye on the game, and yesterday was the first time I saw the skateboard.
Right.
You jam it into a guy's face. I'm like, all right, now I have to know more about this.
Yeah, that was that's an interesting. The skateboard got added quite late, and I just had some time to. Well, I took some time to just try to add some more like crazy things to the game, and I think the original seed for that was actually in the the game Strafe.
The recent release shooter.
Yeah. So they made like there's trailer / short film thing, and then there was like a section where he was like riding with a shotgun, like riding a skateboard with a shotgun, just shooting these monsters, and I thought that was cool. I wonder if I could get that sort of feeling into the game. And I tried that, and then it seemed to have worked, because it's like, I don't know, it's spread like right now, like I tweeted the new GIF like yesterday, and now it's like today it's like the most sort of spread tweet from me.
It definitely blew up.
Yeah, so that's pretty crazy.
The animations in the game are just really crazy. How are you pulling all this off as an indie developer?
It's a lot of patience, I guess. I think probably the majority of like the first year of making the game was a lot about just trying to get the sort of like jumping and spinning stuff look and feel right. So yeah, it's just you try a lot of stuff and you tweak it, and you try a lot of stuff and you tweak it. So it's just, I don't know. There's no like elegant system behind it. It's just like a massive wall of like scripts that move.
Made work.
Yeah, just it's a lot of hard work.
So I know that your Twitter kind of has some different looking art styles for the game. Are the most recent tweets the actual art style now, or are those just like dev blocks or whatever?
Yeah, that's just like the called like the white box stuff. It's it's basically so right now, as I'm speaking, the game, most of the game is like kind of blocked out, you could say. Like I might change a few bits here and there, but the majority of the game is like you can play it from start to finish right now, but it looks kind of like the latest GIFs I've been putting out there. But the ambition is to make it like, dress it up to look more like I guess like the GIFs from a couple of weeks ago. But to have it like more detailed and with actual background art.
Yeah. So Devolver Digital is actually a publisher on the project, right?
Yes, that's correct.
So did that end up changing the scope of the game quite a bit from what you had originally planned for it?
Not really. I mean, not from there. Like the Devolver is just super relaxed. They just like they let me get on and do whatever I want. They like was talking to Nigel, a few times. One of the guys from Devolver. It's just the most they have, like they might have like some crazy ideas and just like, oh, what do you think about this? And then, but it's up to me if I go over there or not. But I think like for me personally, just the fact that I signed with Devolver made me like feel like I remember like when I first was like, when I signed, I felt like like Eminem in 8 Miles. When he's like looking in the mirror and thinking, like, it's like, oh, it's one shot, like, you can do it now. So it's like, I think at that point I personally wanted to just like make sure, okay, this can turn into something great now, so I want to make sure this is the best it can be, sort of thing. Mm-hmm. So from the developers' point of view, like, they're just, there's no pressure from them, but my internal pressure is definitely increased.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess if somebody were to ask, what is the craziest thing you could do in this game, what would you tell them?
Let's see. There's a few different things.
Without spoiling anything, I suppose.
Yeah.
Sure.
What would be the craziest? So it's.
So far from the gifts I've seen, you can take a skateboard, shove it through a window into somebody's skull.
Yeah.
There's a frying pan that you can shoot and deflect bullets on the people.
I think actually I was experimenting combining the skateboard and the frying pan, but it gets a bit too much to handle actually. But it's basically, you can skate down a ramp while jumping and kick flipping the skateboard while you yourself kind of somersault backwards while shooting bullets into like a sign that bounces or ricochets onto an enemy, while you land on your skateboard and smash through a window while kicking your skateboard into the skull of another enemy. Basically, that would be one.
It's gonna have to be a movie made about those.
I'm really tempted to try to do some sort of like live action trailer or something at least, but I don't know. Yeah.
I bet you Devolver would be all over that.
Yeah,
especially after their E3 conference.
Yeah, that was crazy.
I don't think anything's too far out of their realm.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens with that. I would love to see it.
Is there any like storyline to the game, or is it more like
there is?
'Cause from what I'm getting, it looks like a almost like a puzzle platformer between the shooting and the
kind of. It's around. I mean there is a story kind of, but it's definitely not like, if you want to play a story-driven game, this is not the game for you.
Oh yeah.
It's all like it's I tend to just do like gameplay first. Like my focus normally is just on what do you do as a player, like from like second to second sort of thing, and then but obviously I wrap it in like a thing that I can't really talk about right now, but yeah, there'll be some sort of story, some sort of narrative driving force to it, but it's
cool.
Yeah.
So, you said the game is playable from start to finish, and obviously you're not saying a release date yet, but you think it'll be out this year, or you wait until 2018?
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to be this year, unless no, it's not going to be this year. And yeah, because it's just me making it as well, so it takes a bit more time maybe than other games.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, I've tried to estimate when it was going to be done before, but I haven't hit those dates.
Right.
But now I guess I don't know. It'll be done when it's done.
When it's done.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Alrighty. Is there anything else that you would like to tongue twister, that you would like to let people know about the game?
No, I don't know. It's no. I'm just really happy that it's getting attention now, and it feels like, the over 2 years I put into the game so far is gonna hopefully be worth something in the end. Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. The first thing, it threw me off when I saw Media Molecule in your portfolio, because I was like, this does not look like a Media Molecule game.
It's you can make cute things for so many years, but then maybe you want to try something else.
He's got all that pent up aggression. You gotta take it off.
Yeah. Although I have to say that the time I spent making levels at Minimokyo and just being around the people there, which are everyone's just amazing what they do. It shaped the game a lot, actually. The sort of philosophy behind making the levels and things. Trying to keep the game fresh from level to level and all that. It's
I was gonna say you can definitely see the inspirations in there from just the animation alone.
Right.
Reminded me of their games.
Oh, yeah. So yeah, it's there is, if you look beyond the superficial, there is a certain thing in its backbone that might remind you a little bit of Minimokyo stuff. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah.
And this is developed on Unity, right?
Yeah, it's Unity.
Okay. Cool. Alrighty.
All right.
Well, I think that's all the questions I have for you.
Cool. Well, that was good. It's fun.